Here we go. We'll go ahead and get us started. ECE 103 live lecture number 4. I did too, Patty. It's so hard on my children too when they wanted to go to bed. You know, they're not ready to go to bed when it's still light out. Exactly. When school first starts, it's a challenge. Oh, gotcha. You had a meeting till 7:30. Yeah. I feel like I'm still stuck in summer mode, guys. So our next course, I can't believe it, will begin next Monday, September 5th, 2016, and will be an ECE 105 curriculum development. If you may or may not have noticed, our courses go up in numbers of 2, so we're currently in 3. 103 will be in 105, followed by 107 after that. So I think you'll enjoy it. I do. I kind of enjoy all of our classes. For this week, be sure to keep an eye on your assignments. Let me know if any points are missing and you're like, hey, I know I turned that in. Especially if you turn something in through email, those can get misplaced fairly easy. So don't be afraid to shoot me an email. Oh, I'm glad you're liking the classes, Kyle. Fantastic. Something totally different from what you're used to, right? And that is, it's very good for the brain. It is. It's good to do something brand new. Yet you have a connection with it, so that's great. All assignments are due Sunday by midnight, and I wanted to be sure and bring up our bonus point activity. So did you guys see the email that I sent out on the bonus points? I sent out an email, and then I also put it on our course page in week 4. So, okay, good, good. So you have an opportunity to earn, I believe it was 30 or 40 bonus points. I normally don't do that, but I've had a lot of students this 4 weeks that have had lots of challenges come up. I've had some students with illnesses. I've had students that have lost family members. It's been a really challenging time. So some people needed some bonus points, and I wanted to go ahead and offer that to you guys. And I've never done this particular assignment before. And like I said, I cannot wait to hear the stories of what you've done to do a random act of kindness for a child. So that'll be a fun thing to grade. It really will. Hi, Miss Brittany. Let me get Brittany written down. We're glad you're here. All right, our student question of the week. Can you hear my dogs barking, Patty? I wondered if you could. I have 3 dogs, and then we have one of my husband's sister's dogs this evening, and sometimes they'll serenade and get howling too, so we'll see if that happens. I'm getting, here's the student question of the week, and this pertains to a few people in ECE. I'm getting ready to have a baby. Can I take time off for classes? And I wanted to be sure and bring this up because some people don't realize. Patty, you're exempt from this question. I am too. Hi, Sarah. So, maternity leave is available to our students. I want you to know that our college is very mommy friendly. We understand after that baby's born that you need a little extra time, and especially in ECE, we realize the importance of bonding. So most students take about 2 course cycles off, which would be basically 2 months to be with and bond with the baby and get a little bit of rest. Some moms really want to do this. They, cannot imagine having a newborn and trying to take online classes at the same time. And some new moms say, no way. I want to keep chugging along and get my classes finished earlier. So it all depends on your family, and it all depends on the baby. Some babies will let you do this. So I want you to know that's an option if needed. Okay, we've done many arrangements in the past for this. It puts you off track for a couple months, but we can get you caught back up. Okay, so there it is. And have I mentioned the final project lately? Oh, Sarah, your computer died. Oh no, I had to wait for it to try. I understand that, Sarah. I've had that happen with my phone before too. Well, you made it then. Good, good. So yes, final project, newsletter. You're almost done with it, I can tell. You've chosen your developmental age. You've made a flyer that you will be proud to hand out to those parents in your classroom. It's going to give them, you're almost done, Patty, wonderful. It's going to give them some of this information about your their precious child and the age they are, and some of the developmental things they are going through, some of the things they can do, safety concerns. So this list of 7 things that need to be on your newsletter, those need to be there, but I had a student ask if it would be okay if they added additional things, and yes, it definitely is. Whatever you think needs to be there for this age group and to pass along to these parents. And remember, this should be something that you can show to them and they're very interested in reading because we want them to read that. It's worth 100 points, creative, colorful, visual, 5 category specific information, minimum of 3 sentences or bullet points under each category. Organized, free of punctuation, grammar, and spelling errors. Be sure and spell check this. And guys, I recently added a new app to my computer that I kind of like because I found that my spell check was getting a little iffy in Gmail and a couple of my other programs for some reason. So I just added a new program, or a new download called Grammarly, if you've ever heard of it. It's a free one. It checks for spelling and grammar issues. And if you want the paid version, you can upgrade it to, it will even give you suggestions for terms to use. Maybe you've overused a certain word. So it's made to help improve your writing, and all of us need a little bit of help. We can't be 100% perfect. So exactly, Grammarly. That's it. That's it. So you might check it out. Like I said, it's free, and so far I really like it. It catches a few things. Maybe you've put words in 2 times, you know, one right after the other, 2 and 2, and it will alert you that you've got a double word without you even having to read through it and double check it. So, okay, in the real world with our newsletter, you might send this newsletter home in the student's folder, especially in preschool and grade school grades. They have a folder that goes home with them every day. So that might be a great place for this newsletter. You might have copies of it, the newsletter, in the pickup area at school for the parents and caregivers. You might have a digital copy available on the school's website. Maybe you have a dedicated area just for your grade. Or your age level, and you might post a newsletter to social media, maybe on Facebook, maybe on LinkedIn. And guys, for me, I want to suggest you do almost all of these because communication is so important, and our parents will miss information if it's only in one area. So give them multiple chances to get that information about what's going on in the classroom. You are so much more to the world. You may be a teacher, but to your students, you are a star, and I want you to realize that. Especially our little ones in ECE, they love, love, love their teachers. Oh, weekly news also. Yes, Jasmine, exactly. Same thing. Post it as many places as you can. You got it. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about 6, 7, and 8-year-olds. And again, I think it's great when you have some kiddos that are in this age group, right? Because then you can really connect and understand what's really happening here. 6, 7, and 8-year-olds as a group, as a whole group, experience a period of integration and reorganization. They're getting a little bit older. They're not toddlers anymore. They're not little kids anymore. They're starting to grow and shoot up and change. They enjoy school, but find it a little stressful at times. Not all of them. Not all of them. Learn to respect their family rules, their routines, and of course this goes along with school rules and routines. And guys, sometimes where the confusion gets to be where the rules at home are drastically different than the rules at school. It's kind of good if we can meet somewhere in a happy medium so that that gives these 6, 7, and 8-year-olds a little more consistency in their life. Consistency is easier for them to navigate through. They're a little more independent, begin learning how to read, 6, 7, and 8. And actually, these are the ages where reading comes more naturally to them, that they're really developmentally there and ready to go. Continue to learn primarily through play. And I saw a news clip just a little while ago on one of our Tulsa stations that was highlighting the importance of play, and I believe it was another country. I'm wanting to say it was Holland maybe, where they said that in grade school children are required to get at least 1 hour of recess a day, at least. And in the United States we have a minimum of 1 hour total per week. I know some schools surpass this, but some do not. So they're saying we're asking younger and younger kids to sit still for a longer period of time without this release of energy that they get in recess. And you know, we learn so much. Exactly, Patty. So in Holland it was 1 hour per day is what they required, and here it's 1 hour per week. I'm not saying that every kid is only getting 1 hour, but I do know at the grade school level around Afton, Fairland, Northeast Oklahoma area, they have about 2 recesses a day, and they were each about 15 minutes each. So that's not very long, you know. They get out on the playground, and really they're just starting to play. They're just starting to really run around and connect, and then it's time to go in. So it's good if they have a little more time out on that playground. What else? They're making friends. They're enjoying friendships. And I brought this up that at this age they're starting to get that "you're my best friend" thing. And this other person is also my best friend. And then they get into a fight over who's really your best friend, because that happens. So I know a lot of early childhood educators that do not allow the term best friend to be said in a grade school classroom because it causes problems. So they try to focus on saying we're all friends with everyone. You don't have a best friend, we have equal friends. So they really try to focus on that to help avoid those issues. Children need to play, to construct, problem solve, discover, laugh, have fun, speak, write, count, explore their world, develop. And we know that. We know how important that is. 6-year-olds specifically, body shape becomes more adult-like, and you've probably seen this happen with maybe your own children or neighbor kids or nieces and nephews, that they go from 5 to 6, and all of a sudden it seems like that body stretches out, their head shape changes, their muscles start to change. It just seems like it happens overnight. You can tell a difference in their bodies. Motor coordination, strength, dexterity are improving, but it's still not great. You know, they still need a lot of work in this area. Have a need to move about frequently, not sitting in a chair for an hour, are eager to try new challenges or new things, and as an ECE instructor, you really want to take advantage of that and provide them with lots of new challenges. We don't want them getting bored. Recognizing sight words, carry on understandable conversations. Some of them do not want to stop talking. Use logic when playing games and know right from wrong, but they still need that guidance, and it's important that we're there to help them out. I love this picture of the 6-year-old smile. I would see this all the time at the grade school with the missing teeth. Did anybody have a child start kindergarten and by the end of kindergarten they were missing most of their teeth up front? Or sometimes it happens in 1st grade too. The 6-year-old smile. 7-year-olds, generally healthy, because what has happened? Think about, we've gone through kindergarten, we've gone through 1st grade. What happens in kindergarten and 1st grade? That our 7-year-olds are a little more healthy. Building up their immunity, definitely. Kindergarten, 1st grade, they catch a cold every month, it seems like. The cold, the flu, they pass around the stomach virus. Hygiene isn't fantastic in those age groups as well. Start to get a little attitude. They do. They do. They're growing up. So we're building lots of character. They start to understand consequences of actions. If I do this, this is going to happen. And it's very, very important that early on we start with our parenting skills or our teaching skills, where we tell them, you know, if this happens, then this will be the result. This will be the disciplinary issue. So we want them to know, not have to guess what's going to happen if they do something that's off the rules list, okay? So very important that we keep consistency there. They're articulate, able to create descriptive and crazy stories, enjoy friendships, play primarily with same-gender friends still at 7-year-olds, though. The boys hang out with the boys and the girls hang out with the girls. Here's a typical 7-year-old classroom. They're creative, they're goofy, they can get really loud, but this was one of my favorite ages to sub in. And I love that in this classroom you've got water bottles all over the place. I really like that students realize the importance of water throughout the day, and drinking something that's maybe a little bit better than the fountain water out of the school, right? All right, our 8-year-olds. Oh, and you were going to say that too, Kyle. They don't have to go to the fountain to get water. Yeah, yeah. If you've seen a group of kids drink out of that fountain before, you really don't want your kid drinking out of it. They'll put their mouth on the hole to suck the water out of the fountain. You know, they have to go to the bathroom 100 times. They do. Oh, and your teachers require water bottles at Jinx. That's good, Brittany. I like that. I like that. It's very needed, and we know that the more hydrated they are, the easier it is to learn as well. Our brains work better when we're hydrated. Yeah, that's great. 8-year-olds continue to grow. Girls get a little bit taller than boys at this age. This would be about 3rd grade. Devote effort to improving their motor skills. They're very physical. They're working on those gross motor skills. Lots of energy. They love team sports. Develop an understanding and start to develop empathy, which is a fantastic thing for children to have. We want them to be able to empathize with others. We want them to realize when you hurt someone, you know, how it makes them feel. So we need to focus on that at this age. Alternate between acting childish and wanting independence, because they're 20 again, right? alternate between acting, enjoying planning, organizing activities, read with ease and understanding. 8-year-olds are when the reading capability really starts to click, and we have kids reading sometimes chapter books by this age as well. Here's a 3rd grade class, and I mentioned the girls shooting up a little bit. Well, in the back row, we've got 1, 2, 3 girls, because they're all fairly tall. Lots of boys in the middle and a couple little girls down here at the end. So we start to see that physical change. Girls shoot up, but then the boys, it happens again. The boys shoot up about 6th or 7th grade, and then they pass the girls for quite some time. Positive behavior guidance. What are the things that we can do? Set a good example. The most important thing that you can do, set a good example. I had an interesting conversation with one of my friends about teachers yelling in the classroom. Not just to get the attention, but to get on to the kids for whatever. Sometimes you'll be in the hallway and you can hear a teacher screaming at a classroom, grade school, junior high, high school. This does still happen from time to time, but you have to realize that you've dealt with that, Patty. This is not the way to work with our children. When a teacher or a parent yells, what happens is they eventually just tune it out. They don't even hear what you're saying. It does not have the shock factor that you think it will. So whispering is a lot more creepy. Whisper to them. There are other things that you can do, is what I'm saying. Be a good example. If you don't want the kids yelling at other kids or yelling back at you, don't yell at them as well. Good self-control. You're an adult. State rules in positive terms. Listen to children and acknowledge their feelings, because those are important as well. Teach problem solving, communication, conflict resolution. You can have a whole day just teaching these things. Just focusing on problem solving, communicating, empathizing with other people, anger management, what to do when you're mad, because children don't know how to handle this emotion. They tend to do it in whatever way they've seen at home, and sometimes they need a little coaching in that area. Some classrooms have a quiet area in their room where maybe a child's mad, their anger is just taking control of them, and they need to go sit down, read a book, listen to music, just sit and think for themselves for a moment. So it's fine to give that opportunity to them. Ignore behaviors that are not likely to cause harm with this age, because they're going to be goofy. We can't be 100% all the time. Okay, and we are to our last slide. Oh, Patty says, how do you get them in the quiet room without it feeling like a... Well, it's not even a quiet room, Patty. It's just a quiet area in your classroom. Maybe it's just a corner with a beanbag and some books. So, it has to be discussed ahead of time, and give them a little control in the issue, telling them if you feel like you're getting too angry, it would be great if you went into this corner and you could sit and think about it for a moment. Think about why you're angry. Maybe you could read a book. Maybe you could listen to this cassette. So there's things that you can have them do without them feeling like they're in trouble. Treat it as normal, because it is normal. Emotions are part of our life. Yeah. And we kind of underestimate sometimes how many skills it takes for children to deal with them. I think, Sarah. Oh, good, Patty. Sarah has no questions. Kyle has no questions. We kind of finished up tonight fairly fast. but I wanted you to have a little time to go work on that newsletter. Don't forget the extra credit. Be sure and look at the brain research assignment because you do need to do a little research with that for the internet. Thank you, Kyle. And also don't forget on the brain research assignment that on My Course Connection we do have a library tab, and there are some research resources there for you if you need them. So instead of clicking on My Courses, I think it's just a little bit further to the right, there's a tab that says Library. Okay? And if you're ready to go, you guys can hop on out of here, but if you have questions, I will gladly try to help out. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Patty. Good night. Miss Kedra, Miss Opal, did you guys have any questions, or are you good to go?